this. I'm running so late today. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. This is Marylin Rossano from Rossano's Casa. I'm sure he's doing very funny things. Today, couple of things. Okay, so today we're going to move this back. I am going to be making some dumplings. Pork and prawn with chive dumplings. I love dumplings. I love going to Yum Cha purely to get one of every type of dumpling, whether they're steamed, pan-fried, the lot. But today I'm going to show you sort of how I make my version. Are they authentic? I don't know. But they're delicious. And I promise you, you will love them. They make the perfect freezer stash. I love to make a big batch of these. I'm using 1 kilo of pork mince, which you could replace. You could use chicken mince if you don't do pork. You could do it entirely prawn. You could adapt different seafood, scallops, whatever you like. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how I make mine. Now, I will say the reason why I'm doing this is because I do have some dumpling supper clubs coming up. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown on my supper clubs because I feel like these are long-winded videos. So if you want to listen, you don't, you can fast forward till the part that we get cooking. But essentially, I am recording in here in my studio, and I also host supper clubs here. 2 versions. One, there is an interactive version where you can come, make the dumplings together, and then I cook it, serve it up with some sides. Starters, sides, dessert. You get to take home a goodie bag. And then there are other supper clubs where you purely just come, sit down, and I curate a beautiful menu that I cook for you. And it is totally seasonal, surprise, something delicious. So I do have a bunch of kind of supper clubs up on my website at the time of this recording. I don't know at what point you're watching this video. If this is like years down the track and I no longer do it, then I no longer do it. But at the time of this video, that's what I'm doing. So if you want to head over to my website, link is in the bio, and have a look. If you're in Sydney, you're more than welcome to come. And if you, I do want to take this interstate. So maybe if you're interstate, or maybe if you're in Sydney and own a little cafe or studio space and you would like to collab, let me know. All right, now that that's all done, this is going to be a 2-part series. One, I'm going to be making the dumplings with you. I'll show you kind of how I make it. I'll give you tips, tricks, subs, and certain kind of folding techniques. Am I a professional? No, I'm not. I'm just a home cook that likes to make things from scratch, and I try my best, and I own that statement. So I'm going to show you a couple of that. And then next week, there will be a second part to this where I show you the dipping sauce that comes with it. And anyway, it is a really delicious dipping sauce. So I can't wait to, what? Show you, and I'm going to eat it, and I hope that you make it. So hopefully I'll provide you with this recipe, but hopefully we can make it together. Anyway, so I'm going to flip the camera around, run through the ingredients. I am using store-bought wrappers. Can I make my own? Yes. Have I made them? Yes. Am I going to? No, because these are amazing. You can make your own wrappers. I just feel like I'm making the mince wrappers. These are really good quality ones that I get from the Asian grocer. And I feel like it just takes one step away from doing this. So we can make our own, but I feel like I want you guys, I don't want to take you from not making anything and buying pre-store, pre-made store-bought frozen stuff, which is fine. I do it too. Trust me, I do. But I don't want to take you from that to then making wrappers and to making filling and to making this and that. I just figure, let's make the filling. Let's use some really good quality store-bought wrappers, which you can find now at supermarkets as well. Use these and make our own sauce. You could even just use soy sauce to dip it in. And yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. Doesn't it? Okay, let's run through the ingredients. Okay, let's run through the ingredients. I have pork mince. I'm using 1 kilo. I'll probably give you the recipe for 1/2 kilo, to be honest. And of course, just double it. I like to double it because, hello, I am not going to be going to all this effort to just make a little stash. And don't forget, I have more mouths to feed. So I definitely recommend you doubling the recipe. However, I will put, you know, the 500 gram recipe. I have some prawns, prawns that I have finely diced. I have some ginger. Now, I've grated the ginger. However, you can roughly chop it up as well if you like that texture and the chunky element. I have some water chestnuts. These are just from a can. I've drained them. I've roughly chopped them. I love water chestnuts. They taste like basically nothing. Water, crunchy water. However, it's a really good texture element to the dish. So, you know, by all means, you can leave that out if you don't want. I've just got these wrappers that I discussed before because we're not going to go to that effort right now. I have some coriander. I'm using the leaves. You can use the stems. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. Do as you please. Obviously, the leaves, the stems are a little bit more coriander-ish. If you hate coriander, leave them out. All right, so I have some spring onion that I have finely diced. You could leave this out because I'm also using Asian chives. I love, this is a must, and loads of it, please, loads. You get this from the Asian grocers. So if you don't live near an Asian grocer or you don't have any accessibility to it, you can just double up the spring onions and use mainly the stems. So that is that. Then in terms of sauce, I've got some minced garlic. I know, you're going to laugh because it's always in a green olive jar. No, I just make my own homemade minced garlic because I don't buy that store-bought shit. Sorry, excuse my French. I don't buy store-bought minced garlic or the minced ginger. I know some of you do. You can use it if you want. I don't. Anyway, otherwise just crush your own fresh garlic, oyster sauce, sesame oil. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I know that the oyster sauce can be salty, but I feel like it's not really enough. And some white pepper. So that is it. We're literally going to put all the ingredients into the bowl and then we're going to wrap them. And like literally, that's how hard it is. I feel like this, and this is the reason why I wanted to do these kind of like interactive supper clubs, because you just get together. You just like this part, this is the easy part, you know, chopping this and putting it. It's the freaking folding and doing it all that, I don't know, I feel like it's nice to have company while you do it. So anyway, let's put it all in the bowl, mix it all up, and I'll show you some techniques on fold. All right, first things first, we're going to go with our garlic. Look, 2 to 3 cloves for 500 grams. I'm going to add in a fair bit because I like the flavour. If you don't, you can lessen that up. So let's go with that. Let's go with the ginger. Okay, literally you just pop it all into a bowl together. Water chestnuts. Okay, coriander leaves. Let's go with our spring onions. And you want the ratio, for me, I want to see a lot of herbs in this. I love it when I bite into a dumpling and there's like a lot of herbs and flavour. I love it. I love it. I want more. I don't like it when there's more meat than there is herbs. I want it kind of like equal. So now that's that. Go in with some white pepper. I love white pepper with Asian cuisine. I feel like it just matches a little bit. I'm going to go with a little bit of salt because once you steam them. Now for 500 grams, I add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. So I'm going to add a bit more. I'm just eyeing that out, being typical cook that I am and just eyeing it out. Then we're going to go in with some oyster sauce. So there's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of that to 500 grams. So I just got a little bit happy there. And then I'm just going to put my gloves on because you know me by now. I like to use disposable gloves and give it a really good mix. All right, let's get in there. And you want to make sure that it is really well mixed in. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to chill this in the fridge for a little bit. I'll make the dipping sauce episode while that chills a little bit for you guys for next week's episode, because you just want it to kind of firm up a little bit, come together. All right. See how that is just, it's just well portioned. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know. I bought pork and prawn dumplings from an Asian grocer not long ago and they were so disgusting. They were pong. Like I literally had to chuck them out. I couldn't eat them. They stunk. I don't know. Maybe the quality of the pork was horrible. I just couldn't. I couldn't even put it in my mouth. So buying really good quality, you know, mince from your butcher makes a difference. You could leave the prawn in, you could leave it out, like it doesn't matter. So I'm going to cover this, put it in the fridge for a little bit just to firm up. Some people put an egg in the mix. I don't know. I don't feel like it needs it. And there you have it. Look at that. You want a really good mince to herb and ginger and all the kind of spice. You know, like you want the good ratio. So when you take a bite into that, it's full of flavour. It's not just pork mince. Anyway, so let's chill this. I'm going to make the dipping sauce and film it for next week, and I'll come back and we'll stuff them together. Little tip when I do these dumplings. Generally speaking, I just do one easy shape. One easy shape, I just keep it. Let's just play around with different shapes just because we're hanging out already. I like to line them up a little bit. You could leave them in the packet or put a damp tea towel on top just so they don't dry out. Another tip, do not overload the filling because they will burst. They'll burst out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit in the center. And I like to do this way because it's sort of like a little bit of a, oh my gosh, I'm lost for words. You know, sometimes like your brain just doesn't actually compute. It's just like a little, oh my gosh, can you help me out, people? I'm like stuttering here. You just got like a little rhythm going on, right? You just do it, then you fold them, then you put them aside. Always have a baking tray, maybe that's lined, because I'm going to freeze these, generally speaking. We also have some water over here that I use to just seal them. Of course, someone's got the whippersnipper out today. Really, every time I freaking film, there's helicopters, there's whippersnippers going on. Seriously, what is it? All right, first step, very easy. Fold it over and just seal it as such. You could just leave them literally like this, and that is it. That's it, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure you just firmly press it together just so that nothing, like that is just perfect. Like it's just fine, it's fine. But because we're a little bit extra, you know, we're just going to take it another level. Okay, one sec. We're just going to have to roll with the whippersnipper, seriously. The guy hasn't cut his grass for like 6 months. Can you hear it? It's just, all right, let's fold it as such. Okay. Then you can literally, if I can do it, just pierce it over. So it looks like a little tortellini. I love this one as well because I feel like when I steam them, I can literally put the whole thing in my mouth. So that's another cute little method. Let's do another one together just in case you didn't get it. So basically the same thing. I think I overloaded this one a little bit. That's all right. No pro here. We are just, oh my God, he's going to town on that fence. Let's just squeeze out any excess. Okay, make sure we seal it correctly. Just a little bit of there. But I'll give it a little bit of a press. And there we have it. Another little tortellini shape there. Another one that's like a little box parcel. To be honest with you, look, I'm sure that there's different shapes for different kind of dumplings. I'm assuming so. So if there's anyone that's got Asian background or knowledge around that, please feel free to share that with me. But we're just having a bit of fun. This is all fun, right, guys? That is what we're here for. Because look, it's like meditation. So to get that, I'd kind of just pierce the center as such. And then we go in with the other side. There we go. Very wonky. Doesn't matter. Still very cute to get like a little box parcel. I don't overly enjoy eating this because, I don't know, I just feel like I just can't really put it in my mouth as much as this one. But they're just some cute little techniques. So we got that. Let's go in and make the triangle shape. So again, mixture, the center. Now what you're going to do with this is you're gonna kind of, I'm not really describing anything well today. Just want to pinch the sides of there together, okay, as such, that. Then you're going to go into the middle and pinch again, any excess, and pinch again. There you go, you have a triangle shape. Now, me personally, as I always do, I feel like when I've done these shapes in the past and I freeze them, so I always freeze them on a lined baking tray, and then I generally, for storage purposes, transfer them into a large Ziploc bag or a container, usually a Ziploc bag. I feel like when these get frozen, these edges tend to crack. Like that's just my thing that happens to me. So I tend to just do tortellini. So I'm going to do all this shape because it's my favourite. And we can do a little empanada shape as well. You know what, let's just give it a go. Have a look at this. This is how I do my empanadas. And don't laugh. People are going to be like, oh, you call it empanadas. There's literally a little presser tool. I think I've got it inside the house because when I make this big batch, I actually sit and do this at night while me and my husband are watching TV, and he helps me as well. So he uses the tool to press it. I mean, I like to have a little station going because I just find it quicker for me, but he likes a tool, and it was called an empanada tool. But anyway, we use it for dumplings. So you want to, again, feel it, seal the edge first really well. I don't even know how to describe this apart from showing it to you. All right, seal it well. Start from one corner, and you're just going to kind of be overlapping it like that, twisting and putting pressure. There we go. So this is a Middle Eastern sambusak. That's what they call it. You know, South American empanada. Again, probably not traditional. And I've seen like other cute designs that a lot of the pros do. I do not know those. And I wish I do. I can't wait to learn. But at the moment, this is what we know. And I just want to create a bit more of a culture on building a freezer stash and making things ourselves. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Our technique doesn't have to be immaculate and perfect. Do I want to learn a little bit more techniques? Of course I do. And one day I will do a dumpling class myself with an OG. But for now, let's just make it together. That's it. So I'm going to do the rest as a tortellini shape, because it's easy, it's quick and easy, and I love them. It's probably my favourite, my go-to. But anyway, hope you can give this a crack at home. You can definitely pan fry these. You can definitely steam them. So pan frying them, you essentially put them onto a pan as such. I put a little bit of sesame oil at the bottom, a little bit of water, put the lid on for a little bit to cook them through, take it off, crank the heat up, and they get that nice kind of crispy surface. Otherwise, just steam them, serve them with greens. I'm going to show you how to do a dipping sauce. But yeah, at the supper club, I will be serving these up with some greens and dessert later, beautiful dipping sauce. And yeah, cannot wait to have you guys there. But anyway, I'll provide you with a recipe, a little breakdown recipe, and hopefully you guys can make it. Yeah, and let me know how you go. I'm going to be here for about 3 hours. Rolling all of these. I love it. I'll probably do enough for dinner, and then tonight while we're sitting down watching, well, I'm going to be watching Real Housewives because that's my guilty pleasure. Orange County's on at the moment. Miss my New Jersey one. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, I will fold the rest and freeze them. So I'm going to make enough for dinner tonight, and I'm going to film my dipping sauce now, and I'll release that episode. If you're watching this at the time that this episode's released, you will get the dipping sauce video next week. And I hope you love it. It's the best dipping sauce. It is delicious. Homemade dumplings hit different than store-bought ones. I know sometimes we are time poor. Trust me, I've been buying frozen ones for so long, and I'm sort of becoming a little bit disappointed. My husband said, oh, can you please, like whenever you get a chance, can you please make some homemade ones, because they're just so much nicer. And I have to agree, they are. And they make the perfect freezer stash. So steam them, pan fry them. You could add them. I usually, I love to have them in the freezer so then I can add them to a soup in winter time. You know, some rice noodles, some Asian greens, some frozen veggies as well. You could add to a nice clear broth, and you just pop them in. They're delicious. What else could you add them to? That's about it. That's all that I kind of use them for. Delicious. I love it. Anyway, I'd love to know if you give this recipe a go. Please let me know in the comments. You can find the recipe there, any links. I hope to see you one day at a supper club, wherever you may be. If you're in Sydney, please, by all means, come to one of them. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to cook with you. I'd love to feed you. That's the main thing, right? I'd love to feed you. That's the whole purpose of all this. And yeah, apart from that, hopefully one day we hit the road, Jack, and take this nationwide. And we make this supper club that I do a thing for different states. All right, until then, I'll be here getting irritated by the neighbour's whippersnipper that is actually put on hold now. Like, yeah, literally, he's stopped now. Anyway, until next week, I will catch you. I'll catch you then. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm fumbling on my words today. Bye. Yoo-hoo. Only me. Back again. I wanted to show you how I line my steamer. Okay, so you want to get some baking paper, square piece, parchment paper, as some would call it. So square, and you keep folding it into a triangle as such, like that, as though you're making a paper plane. Okay, once we have our paper plane, we just center it as such, and then we're going to trim. We're just going to trim that off. So we have a beautiful round piece of baking paper that we just, that's it, so that it doesn't stick to the bamboo when we go to steam it. Nice and easy. We're just going to layer them all into the steamer. So these frozen probably take about, I don't know, 12 to 15 minutes. Straight from the freezer into the steamer. Just got the little pan happening over there. But since these are fresh, I'm going to say about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, they'll be fine. And you will know because the prawn will change colour. And you'll just know the pork will be nice and cooked. We want clear juices to run out. So just stick to the 10 to 12 minute mark over some simmering water. And yeah, straight from the freezer, you want about 15 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to steam these over and make a nice dipping sauce. Oh, I was going well, wasn't I? I was doing well and then I didn't. Anyway, I'm going to go steam these, make a dipping sauce. I'm hungry. And there we have it. So I just served these dumplings with a dipping sauce. Just keep it nice and simple. You could pan fry them like I said, but super delicious. Waiting to be devoured. Here's some of the nice and pruny and wrinkly. Just how I like it. Anyway, enjoy guys. I hope that you make it and let me know what you think.